I'm Nathan Mumm, and I'm the host of TechTime Radio. TechTime Radio is officially on KKNW from Saturdays from 4 to 5 p.m. You can listen to our show live. We are excited to also then rebroadcast our episodes on Thursday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. The hosts cover top tech stories with a funny spin.
That's good. So, Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit. Grab your weekly technology without having to geek out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We talk technology for the everyday common person. Hey, Mike, I know your camera must be bursting with over hundreds and thousands of photos. I know this because the average family produces 3,000 plus photos per year.
Yeah, I'm not the average family. But, I might even be higher, though, because I'm considered a point-and-shoot expert.
I also know that instead of enjoying your photos, there are a source of stress and anxiety because you just don't have the time to deal with them. And they sit on your phone or a memory card or on the cloud, and you never share them with anyone.
Actually, I don't have that problem because I use a service called Memory My Way. It's where the modern family gets the help they need to rescue those memories from the cloud.
What? Mike, if I could only imagine having a plan in place to get those memories into photo books year after year. That just takes forever.
Well, tech guy, with a membership at Memory My Way, this plan is baked right into the heart of the whole thing. Members learn exactly how to get organized and in control, back up the right way, and the very best part is, everyone is paired with a professional designer who custom creates each book, saving members tons of time.
Plans start as low as $39 a month. The monthly fee includes it all. Ready and waiting for you to tell your unique story. Your memories shouldn't be lost to the cloud or your devices.
Yep, that's www.memorymyway.com. And you can just go out there and become a point-and-shoot expert today.
TechTime listeners, a special for you. If you sign up, we will give you $5 off your first month. That's right, $5 off your first month by putting in the code TechTime at checkout. Visit them today, www.memorymyway.com. And tell them Nathan and Mike sent you.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. The show that makes you go,
Yeah, today's a big day.
Technology news of the week. Hey, Mike. Well, I am glad. You know what? We have the What Drives You studio in play today. So with your podcast.
Yeah.
We have Studio 6, our original studio, in play. And then we have Nathan Miller back at KKNW, because if you're in the Seattle area, we have Snowmageddon that's going on. And when the snow falls down on the ground, then we immediately stop running everything. That's what happens
everything. I can't even get out of my driveway.
You can't get out of your driveway? That's because Seattle built all of their roads on hills. You know what?
Yeah,
if they would have... We don't do well on the hills or the snow or anything at all.
No,
not even rain. We don't even do good in rain. When it rains, we can't even drive well.
No, and I don't get plow service, so there's a foot of snow out on the road.
On the road. Well, we thank Nathan Miller for being back in the studio. David is actually helping out, running around on the Gonzaga basketball game right now. So Nathan is going to join us. Nathan, normally, he drinks our whiskey before we start the show and tells us if it's going to be a good whiskey or not. So we're glad to have him. If you are watching our show right now on the live stream and you have the internet, that is fantastic. We're on 4 to 5 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and, of course, our home radio station, which is KKNW, 1150 a.m. If you're listening to our podcast or replay, please go to techtimeradio.com so you can stay up on all your latest information. TechTime Radio is a weekly 1-hour show dedicated to talk technology for the simple common person. Without having to geek out, we're live on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook /TechTime Radio and you want to ask us or a guest a question, just type that in. Or you can always go to YouTube, because we are super chat, and you can put a chat message up there on YouTube and we'll answer that during the show. And of course, as always, we start out every single one of our shows with my beautiful co-host asking him the most important question.
Oh, goody.
our loaded question of the day. So here's
what's the loaded question of the day, Nathan?
So people don't realize that I just give this to you off the cuff, right? So here's what we're going to ask you.
Yeah, no, you.
If you were a master chef, what would be your most used ingredient? So we'll put it right up there. If you were a master chef, what would be your most used ingredient?
Butter.
Oh, butter? Even over bacon? Even over bacon?
Oh, come on now. This is my answer, not yours.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying butter was an okay answer, but I don't.
But
I don't know if it's
maybe
the
I'll
best.
change. Maybe I'll change it because bacon is a good one.
Bacon is a little okay. Yeah. You can go with butter. Mine would be bacon. Yeah, but you know what? If that's what you want to go with, I get you.
Lobster. How about that?
You like lobster?
Yeah, we'll do that one. That will be my most favorite ingredient. I would eat lobster every day.
See, I love crab. Do you like crab? If you like lobster,
crab is really good too. But
king crab, or
both of them have to king crab.
Or sorry, king crab. King crab or Alaskan crab.
I don't care.
You don't care?
Either one of them's good. But
okay.
But again, the most important ingredient there is butter.
The most important. Okay, today on the show we have a special guest that will answer the question: what is the biggest thing you can build on a 3D printer? And he is a pioneer in the field. He'll be joining us. Also, we have to give an award in our top stories in the first 5 minutes, where we're going to give the dumbest crazy hacker award. So this is a brand new award. It's called the DCH Award, and we're going to start rewarding these to hackers that absolutely hack things that they shouldn't. And we also have 2 truths and a lie. So with Nathan Miller joining us, I am trying to get a win against Mike and against KKNW. So
yeah,
I am
thinking an advantage today.
I do. You can't. You're gonna have to read me on.
I can't see everything. I can only see part of you.
That's right. So maybe I get myself a win, and then I'll know what my secret tell is. So that will be really exciting. Now, if you want to join us, you can always, normally you can get a hold of us in the studio. But if you call the studio right now today, it's not going to work. So the way to get a hold of us during the show would be to hashtag on Twitter and just hashtag TechTime Radio and anything after that, and we'll read that on the air also. So we're really excited. Mike, we also, of course, have our whiskey tasting that we'll be doing during the commercials, and after our first commercial break, we'll come back and talk about our whiskey. We both have our whiskey.
My whiskey.
See, I got a little bit of a larger glass. I don't know about you.
I'm using my dead mouse shot glass.
Okay, and see, I got a little bit of a larger glass here, so it's a little bit more of a shot since I'm working from home.
I've already had 18 shots. No, I'm kidding.
All right. Okay, well, let's get on with the show. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1. Lawyers and Zoom make a funny combination. Just like the 4G commercials for Verizon, can you hear me meow? Do you get it? Can you hear me meow? Ah!
Yeah.
All right, so
Super Troopers.
We have Rod Pronton, a lawyer who was about to present a case in the Texas 394th District Court. Recently learned that the lesson the hard way. He entered a Zoom video call with a filter on that turned him into an adorable little kitten. Judge Roy Ferguson could be heard on the audio explaining that the face filter situation as the cat's eyes shifted left and right and mimicked the lawyer as he was saying items. Ponton acknowledged to the judge that he was aware of the issue, but neither him or his assistant could figure out how to turn the cat filter off. We just so happen to have the audio, and we're more than happy to share it with you right now.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take a look.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that.
I'm not a cat.
That is blown up. That is blown up all over the place. And I think the funniest thing is that he had to make sure that we knew. I'm not a cat. I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat. He wanted to make sure that because we all thought that maybe he was a cat.
Maybe he was a cat. Maybe, I don't know. I've
Now,
got
it was
weird
kind
cats.
It was kind of funny because I actually, for our production meeting, I actually went out and decided to install that filter, and that filter application is called Snap Camera. So if you want to go on the web right now and Snap Camera, and what I end up looking like, Mike?
Oh, you look like a cigar with a mustache.
Yeah, so I put on a whole filter. They got country people. They had Shrek that you could be. So
Yeah, that was disturbing.
That was a little disturbing, the Shrek face.
Disturbing, yeah.
But if you want to go to Snap Camera and download it, this is like the biggest app right now. You can, all your Zoom meetings, Microsoft Team meetings, you can change yourself into different figures so that your cohorts at work can laugh at you, just as we did here.
Did you see the senator one?
I did not. What was that?
There was a senator or a congressman that came on where the floating head, it was upside down.
Oh, I did. Oh, you know what? I did. Yes, I did see that. Yes.
I think that was probably
on purpose.
On purpose thing.
On purpose type of deal. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Because I am not a cat.
You're not a cat. He wanted to make sure, so we knew that. All right, story
2.
No, story number 2. Have you seen the TV's Dumbest Criminals, Mike? Have you ever seen that show, the TV's Dumbest Criminals?
Yeah.
All right. So what if I told you that we have started creating a dumbest hacker section? So, and this is our first inaugural hacker right here. The hacker would essentially be someone hacking in and stealing something of no value. So let's take like Microsoft, right? So if I hacked into Microsoft and I was really excited about it, and all of a sudden I found the source code for Windows 3.11, or even worse, maybe Windows Millennium or Windows 8, any of those bad operating systems. And if I stole that and said, look at me, I hacked Microsoft and I had that would be considered what we consider a dumb criminal, because nobody would want any of those applications.
Way to go,
here
dude.
we go. Here we go. Cyberpunk 2077 game developer said it was hit by a cyber attack. The Polish studio said hackers had managed to access its internal network, collected certain data, and left a ransom note threatening to release the source code of its games. Data impacted in the breach include full copy sources of the game Cyberpunk. All right.
Yeah.
Now, the company said it would not pay the ransom, but let's think of this.
Because it sucks.
So this is the buggiest game to be released over the last 5 years, and it may actually end up being the buggiest game ever to be released. So it's from CD Projekt Red. They released last November. Mm-hmm. It was littered with bugs and technical glitches where they essentially had Microsoft and Sony both refund the players who had purchased the game through the digital store. So this is unheard of. So they paid $49, $69 for the game. It was so buggy, they let them keep the game and they refunded them the money.
Yeah, and then they still had people wanted to play it for free.
Yeah, then in December, the studio said it would work with players to get full refunds. So essentially, all of the copies of the games have all been given out essentially for free. So on the dark web, this company posted the source code, and they just got reamed. It was like a Reddit insult fest where they're saying, guess what? Thank you very much. Please put the source code out there, and maybe we can have independent studios actually take a look at the source code and fix it so that they can actually release a solid game.
Yeah, now
so
that would be fun.
So my question is, did they purposely do it? Maybe they did. All right, story number 3, real quick. We have Mighty Building nabs $40 million in Series Bs to 3D print your next house on site. So, once upon a time, the idea of 3D printing homes felt like a thing of the future. But as homes get less and less affordable, especially ultra-expensive markets such as the Bay Area, companies are getting creative in their quest to build housing technology. Of these companies, Oakland-based Mighty Buildings raised $40 million in a Series B funding just to build 3D houses. So, they say that it can build a 3D house at 300 square foot studio apartment in just 24 hours. The 4-year startup caught its eyes of many different venture capitalists in the Bay Area. So, Mike, our time is up, and we did get through our top stories. If you would like to go and read more about them, you can always visit us online at techtimeradio.com, because we have a section in there with links so you can actually take a look at the facts. And you know what's really interesting is up next. 3D printing is our main subject. So we just ended here. We're going to be talking about 3D printers, what they do, how they are configured, how they work, and even some very unique items that have been printed on 3D printers. But right now, we're going to sip some whiskey. We're going to say goodbye to all of our fans, and they're going to listen to some commercial breaks, and we'll see you right back after that. I'm Nathan Mumm with TechTime Radio.
Woohoo.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Have you heard about 180 Consulting?
No.
I love these guys. You know how much I avoid working with copy vendors, right?
Actually, I get to hear about it all the time.
Not anymore, because guess what? The guys at 180 Consulting took over the entire process. They assessed our needs, worked directly with the vendors on my behalf, and helped us understand our option. No sales fluff, just good information so we can make the right decision.
Well, that sounds good. How do they get paid?
Their only compensation comes from a small share of the cost savings they create. They work for us, and it's a win-win.
You know, that sounds like a no-brainer.
There's two ways to reach them. You can get them at info@180-consulting.com or visit them online at www.180-consulting.com.
www.180-consulting.com.
Thank you, Mike. 180-consulting.com.
At H&R Block, get your maximum refund guaranteed. Get every credit and deduction you deserve. Or get your money back. File with a tax pro or on your own. Then, relax. With a max refund guaranteed, Block has your back.
So here at TechTime Radio, we got a new sponsor. It's called Smile Brilliant. If you're like me, you're a little confused about teeth whitening due to all the product variations on the market. So what have we learned?
Well, LED lights are a novelty, and they don't actually produce better results.
Right, and strips neglect the gum lines, crevices, and molars.
And then that crest whitening with charcoal and everything is an abrasive that actually wears down the enamel of your teeth.
Yeah, and whitening toothpaste only works on the surface stains.
The number one product recommended by dentists are custom-fitted trays made by the dentists. They are, however, very, very costly.
With Smile Brilliant's lab direct process, you can have a custom-fitted teeth whitening tray at a fraction of the price without a single visit to a dentist.
Using an exact model of your teeth, Smile Brilliant's lab technicians will handcraft your trays to ensure the best possible results.
You do all of this from the comfort of your home using their lab direct mail-in process for as little as $149 or 3 easy payments of $49. Additionally, you get a 2-year tray replacement warranty and a 45-day satisfaction guarantee. For a limited time, as a TechTime Radio listener, you can buy any teeth whitening or night guard system and receive a second absolutely free for a friend or family member. Head on over to smilebrilliant.com and use the TechTime Radio coupon code at checkout.
Welcome back to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. All right. What did you think of the whiskey, Mike?
You know, this is one of my favorites, so I was expecting a little bit better.
You were expecting a little bit better? Was it a little bit of a bite for you?
It was a little more bite than I was expecting.
All right, so this is the Knob Creek, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. It's a small batch selection, 9-year. It's an unflinched balance of deep, old-style flavor with natural oak sweetness, 100 proof, and it's $40 a bottle. So Mike went on out last night just to buy this so that we could make sure that we had the same alcohol to drink. So he braved it before the snowstorm, Stormageddon decided to come on down.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is the cashier was like, "Oh, you're getting ready for the storm, huh?" Yeah, you could say that.
You're getting ready for a radio program, and they'll be like, what is that about? All right, well, welcome back to TechTime Radio. Make sure if you have a question, if you call us at the studio, you're not going to get us today. So you're going to have to use the hashtag sign on Twitter. And again, our hashtag sign, or as Mike calls it the waffle iron, TechTime Radio. And then after that, you ask a question, and we're going to be good to go. All right, so now we're going to talk about 3D printers. Mike, have you had a 3D printer before?
No, a buddy of mine has one, though.
He does? Okay, so let's talk about 3D printers. First off, 3D printers enable people like you and me to manufacture complex objects to be able to build something that's in 3 dimensions. Unlike the huge factory machines that are available out there, you can now purchase 3D printers anywhere between $100 all the way up to a couple $1,000 that can sit in your business, be there available for you to prototype certain items, make toys, do a lot of different things. But essentially, they are very much like an old HP inkjet printer. You know where the inkjet printer has a cartridge and you put that in the printer and it kind of goes bzzz, and it goes across the deal?
You're talking about the old dot matrix or?
Well,
jet,
no.
You're talking about the jet printer.
Yeah, like an old jet printer. Yeah, like an old a desktop printer where you put in a cartridge.
Yeah,
essentially, 3D printers do exactly the same thing, except for it's normally plastic in different items that you put on in. And what happens is when it comes out, it actually melts it and heats it up so it can adhere to the surface itself. But what's really important about it is you need to make sure you always come up with a plan. So whether that's a PDF file of your 3D object, or depending on each of the systems, they have different codes and different ways to get your 3D objects. They always find and are working on a specific file of information. Now, let's talk about some unique digital printed items. People have used these to print anything from toys, little
keychains
to hard to find items that could be rare items that you have like a certain specific bolt or certain
tools.
Doorknob that you need specifically built for tools and different items. Instead of sending that back and having it taken care of, you can do that at a 3D printer.
I think my buddy does RC parts because he likes RC cars and he's always constantly wrecking it and breaking stuff off of it. So he does RC parts.
So and it's you can get one printed literally in the matter of a couple minutes compared to shipping off and having to get that part from the manufacturer over a week or so. So that makes complete sense. All right, so let me tell you about this. What if I told you there was a 3D printer that actually prints food?
Okay, Star Trek.
That's right.
Let's get some replicators going. And
you remember that where you go and John Luke asks, I want a coffee,
tea Earl Grey hot.
That's right. There you go. Perfect. There is now a 3D printer that actually just printed a whole beef segment. So instead of going out and getting yourself a ribeye steak, they decided to do a lab-grown meat industry that used for fine dining and was able to make a cut of beef for about $50.
I can't imagine that.
The new dish, created by an Israeli food laboratory called Alpha Farms, marks the first 3D bio-printed ribeye made of real cow tissue, despite the fact that no live animals were hurt or killed in the process. The breakthrough follows the company's initial leap into the lab-growing meat industry in 2018, where they debuted with the very first slaughter-free steak.
So would you eat a 3D printed steak? Good question. That's a hard thing to answer.
Have you had the new Impossible Burger? Have you had one of those?
No.
So I've had one of those. That was actually pretty good. That was really, really good. And I love black bean burgers. Have you ever had a black bean burger?
Yeah, but that's not lab grown meat.
Yeah, I don't.
Would you eat the lab grown meat or a 3D printed steak? That's See that. This is one of the funny. Yeah, this is one of the funny human behavior things, right?
What's that? Would you? Let me ask you. Would you do the same?
I would give it a shot.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I would probably just look at it and say congratulations and get me that $100 steak. I would be probably pretty scared. All right,
that's like when you feed your kids squid and tell them later.
you see what they like first.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, moving from meat, how about we talk about something else that is used, and besides 3D toys and steaks, and why don't we move to something a little bit bigger? Let's talk about buildings.
Right. Buildings.
Yes. Have you heard that we now have 3D homes that have been printed and actually manufactured and ready to go?
Yeah, you just said it like 5 minutes ago, didn't you?
I did. And you know what? We have an expert on the show.
All right.
And we have Kirk Anderson from SQ4D, and there's a little bit of information about him before we bring him on the show.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
SQ4D is an innovative construction technology company based in Patchogue, New York. As a pioneer of the 3D printing construction industry, they are the first company to list a 3D printed home on the open market. SQ4D is a collection of contractors, engineers, designers, and futurists with a single goal in mind: produce quality, affordable housing using automation. SQ4D 3D prints full-size concrete houses on site, faster, safer, stronger, all while dramatically reducing costs. This technology allows for the creation of homes that are more affordable, sustainable, and eco-friendly than traditional construction methods. For more information, please visit www.sq4d.com.
All right, Kirk, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hi, Kirk.
Yeah. All right, so I got lots of questions about it. So first this is a 1,400 square foot home with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2.5 car garage on a 1/4 acre garden, and you're selling it for $299,000. Is that correct?
That is all correct. That's in Riverhead, New York.
You know what? You would sell that house in 2 seconds here in the Pacific Northwest. If you had that house available on the market, that would sell like hotcakes. Because
I believe it's the most viewed listing on Zillow ever. It's also on Realtor.com, MLS. We think we're setting some records with that. But yes, we've already received offers at and above asking, and it's only been up about a week. But so this house is going to be built. It hasn't built yet. We've had an open house at our demo house, which is about 10 minutes away from this property. We had a spectacle of an open house. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. A bunch of people just staring in amazement at a house. But it's the technology that goes behind it, obviously.
And they don't have to move a bus or anything.
No. Move that bus. Move that bus.
And you know what? You didn't have Ty Pennington do a cheap job where, like, 4 months later, all of a sudden it's going to dissipate and no longer be there. Okay, so Kirk, tell us a little bit about SQ4D, the company, what you got. You have to have some creators, you have to have some engineers, you have to have some probably dreamers. Tell me a little bit about SQ4D and what made you guys get into the 3D printing market.
So all those dreamers and engineers, everything, that's only a couple guys. We're just cram that all in, swapping hats left and right. But we're a Patchogue-based company. I grew up here. My main partner and principal owner grew up here. It was started as a small desktop 3D printer company. I have a custom one right behind me. We built those from scratch. They're FDM printers, helping people rapidly prototype pieces and parts to grow their business and inventions. And then and we all have construction backgrounds, so we're trying to build houses around here. And locally, there's some very strict building codes and laws we have to abide just to get some money from them. And we wanted to stop dealing with the bureaucratic crap that a normal builder, construction worker has to go through. So we're making a machine. Now you talk to the machine and do that. But our machine is a large format 3D printer that completes about 41% of the build. So we do footings, foundations, interior and exterior walls out of concrete. We extrude that so that you can have these cavities to put your utilities, insulation, and everything after we're done. So we're just trying to streamline the process, and by doing that, we're creating a safer job site with minimal labor and intervention. We've had 3 guys build this 1,900 square foot demo home. So you feed a volumetric cement mixer, you mix your concrete on demand, you extrude that through a giant 3D printer, and with a little magic dust, you can extrude a whole building in a matter. We did this build in 48 hours. That was split over 8 days. So
wow.
Not only are we faster, less labor, labor is just a huge cost. It's at least 50% of any build.
It's like a big pastry pouch.
Pretty much. This thing goes around and just icing the cake, going around, following the floor plan. So any rough openings, anything that we need and is required on those building plans, we put in the G code. The machine follows these instructions. And like I said, it's about 41% of the build. But doing all this math, we've had some comp costs from engineers and structural departments of H2M, a world-renowned engineering firm. They've figured that we can save you about 30% over a total build. So people like to save 20% on their car insurance or get free shipping on something online. If we can save you 30% on building a house, that's pretty large. It's huge.
So I got a question for you because I'm a nerdy guy here. So let's say you're trying to go around a window, right? So you have a window in the area. How would that 3D printer understand that there's going to be a window in a certain area? Does it not print in that area, or do you put it in and rough it out and then it comes over it? How do you actually deal with windows, doors, and in different areas that you have openings?
So, like I said, it's following instructions. The printer, the computer, it has no idea what the geometry looks like. It's just following code. It's following G code. It's following lines. It has no idea there's going to be a window there. So this will print under the window sill up to that, and then the G code will tell it to stop where the window is going to be. So the lines will come around and actually turn. So I have some 3D printed concrete right here. So this would continue and then stop and make it turn around and keep it going around, allowing these rough openings for any window size we tell it to, whatever it calls for. We can put the window, the door, whatever I tell it to. It goes from CAD to CAM to part.
How do you deal with the lintels?
The lintels are pre-engineered. We just like the rough opening for the window, we just step back the top of that the window where the lintel will be. We put the lintel on, there's two sides of reinforced concrete. There's two columns. We slap a pre-engineered lintel in there. It's galvanized coated steel with some wood for nailers, and then we can print right on top of that lintel. And you can also create a bond beam around the entire top. Nice. There are many ways to do this, and this is in the very early stages, but we are proving that we're just building a house at the end of the day. People were amazed to come see this demo home this last weekend, and at the end of the day, it's a house. They love it. The geometry of a house can be completely customized. If we're allowed to do that, we're allowed to do that. So we're going to print arcs, circles, domes. We don't have to live in boxes anymore. We can. I can, if it's right for the neighborhood, I have to put that house that style. But
I am not a cat. I don't want to live in a box.
Exactly.
So let me ask you: is this one computer that's hooked up to this master 3D printer? Is it like one computer running Windows 10, or is it like a huge proprietary software program that's being used to build this?
There's some proprietary stuff in there, but it runs off a simple computer. It's about a $2,000 computer, but it just has to run some heavy G code lines. I can put in a flash drive of G code that I slice. So we have a custom slicer. There's some steps that go to it, but the printer itself runs on less than a hairdryer. But wow. The volumetric mixer and the actual concrete pump, they need 220, or the mixer is powered by diesel. So we're trying to reduce the power that's needed on site, trying to make this just a portable construction machine.
Okay, so here is another question, Kirk. Are you a Lego guy or a Tinker Toys guy? So that's
Legos all day. Legos
all day.
All right.
Okay. All right. A Lego.
We're
guy.
buddies now.
Okay.
I've done all the architecture sets. They're in storage right now. But I grew up with Legos. I mean, everyone stepped on a Lego and they hate that. But I'm sorry.
I said my millionaire dream is to have a complete room that's just full of Legos. That's one of my millionaire dreams.
I built small cities growing up with Legos. Now I'm trying to build developments and communities with a giant 3D printer. It's a different way of going my route of wanting to be an architect, but this is where I wound up.
So that was, you get right in my next question. Are you an architect by trade, or are you a computer geek by trade? What was your growing up business trade?
A construction and a nerd at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm taking the two, combining them. I did not finish college. I had to jump into construction. That's where I ended up. So I have a good amount of experience with tools, and I know that a hammer at the end of the day, as powerful as it is, we shouldn't be using a piece of metal to hit another piece of metal into a piece of wood. It seems caveman. It seems antiquated. So I would love to use automation to change not only the aesthetic looks of houses, but how we build them.
All right, so let me ask you another question. What is the one thing people always ask you when they meet with you for these interviews? What do they always ask you? Probably not Legos and Tinker Toys. I hope that was us, ourselves.
No, I think a lot of people lack the understanding of 3D printing as a whole, which is It's kind of hard to explain how I'm 3D printing a house after that. But if I relate to the analogy of just icing a cake layer by layer, they kind of get it. I have to show them a video. But it's following instructions. At the end of the day, there's X, Y, Z. You follow X, Y, Z, and we're just following this coordinate plane. To me, it's so basic and simple, and the machine can be so much more intense, and it will be optimized to print other parts of the house. But we do the concrete part of the house, so I try to explain that to everybody, that your cabinets eventually could be 3D printed out of a plastic or some sort of polymer. You could have that in your utility closet of your house to reprint a cabinet. You can manufacture things so freely with 3D printing. It's amazing. Additive manufacturing, in my opinion, is going to be like another industrial revolution. And there's so much. You're talking about printing a steak. That's great. I would try it. I wouldn't doubt try that. But there's not a lot of automation in construction, and that needs to change. We feel this is the future, and this is here to stay.
I liked your house. So if I wanted to view your house on Zillow, so let's just ask, what's the highest price you've gotten? Have you gotten up to the 400s, 500s for the offers of that house, or where are you sitting right now?
I can't disclose that with you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't disclose. Okay, all right. So us people in Seattle, if we want to get in on that, we're going to have to go in a little bit higher. Are you still taking offers though for the house?
We're still taking offers. We want to find the right buyer. There's a lot of people that honestly just want to get in the house because it's 3D printed. There's some coolness to that, uniqueness. In my opinion, it will be a piece of history because we're so early in this stage of concrete printing. Like, this is a little ugly to me. It doesn't look like the normal things I 3D print at 0.2 millimeters. So we're going to optimize this, have different nozzle attachments, make this a prettier thing. But I believe this is history. We're making history right now in the early stages.
And that's the key with 3D printers, right? Even just the standard 3D printers, you can get different nozzles, which makes it finer and finer and finer, so you don't have those rigid edges. And I could see that your cement, it's got a little bit of a rigid edge there. So
sure, yeah. So we also have patent pendings. We didn't use it on the last house, but a smoothing arm or a stamp roller that can put a cedar impression, that can put wood grain, put the face of your whole family on the outside of your house if you'd like. This is all in the future. This can all be done. Concrete is kind of a hard material to work with and extrude, especially with all the elements. There's a lot of variables that go into it. But we're just trying to show you that you can do this, that there's other people around the world doing this. We're not the only ones. And like I said, this is here to stay. People are a little hesitant. They're afraid it's going to take jobs. But we don't have milkmen for a reason anymore. And we need to evolve. We need to progress. This is good for society. This is good for the environment. There's a lot of benefits to this. I hope that people will eventually see.
Absolutely. Kirk, thank you very much for joining the show today. We're going to be looking forward to seeing more of your 3D printed homes, and hopefully you guys come out here in the Pacific Northwest and start doing that, because I know that would save us a lot of money to put those houses together 3D print compared to what the houses market is right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Bye, Kirk.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So what do you think, Mike? That's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of awesome. I'm really curious about durability and stuff like that. How long does it take to dry?
So they were saying it was like 30 minutes, and they're trying. It's like a quick cement dry process. So if you want to learn out more about it, you can absolutely visit them at SQ4D.com, and they can absolutely get more information.
I would totally live in one.
I would too. And if you look at the pictures on Zillow and the other locations that they have available, it's a pretty nice house. The finishing inside are all standard finishings. It's just the actual layers of the foundation itself, of the sturdy part. So we're really excited. Make sure everybody right now go visit TechTimeRadio.com and sign up to win the Pulse device and our Story Coffee giveaways that we have. When we come on back, we have our segment, Two Truths and a Lie, and I'm going to try to get Mike here on the video, and maybe he won't be able to tell which one of the stories is the lie versus the other two truths. I'm Nathan Mumm. If you'd like to reach out and engage the show, you can absolutely go to Twitter and hashtag TechTime Radio, and we'll answer your deal. Or just go on Facebook, and you can see that Mike Roday is on Facebook right now, and he's stuck at home, so you can comment on his Facebook post also. All right, I'm Nathan Mumm. We'll see you after this commercial break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of turbo debt?
No, what is that? Something to get me into debt faster?
No, turbo debt is not to get you in debt faster. It's to help you get out of debt. Do you have over $10,000 in credit card, personal loans, medical, or payday loans?
Of course I have debt. That's the American way.
Au contraire, mon frere. Turbo debt will give you the option to break the debt cycle
and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
Over 70% of Americans die with credit card debt. Do not let this happen to you. Turbo Debt will give you an option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and personal loans, medical or payday loans, they can help. Go to turbodebt.com/techtime. Again, that's turbodebt.com/techtime, all capitalized, for a free consultation today. TurboDebt is a proud sponsor of this week's episode of TechTime Radio.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
That whiskey, that's a bite. There is a bite to that, Mike. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome back to Tech Time Radio. We're going to get right into our next segment, and it is Two Truths and a Lie.
And now we have two truths and a lie.
Okay, you have to keep Nathan on camera the whole time.
You got to keep me on camera the whole time? Well,
Yeah,
you can't go like... Are you going to go like Google search these, or you just want to watch me?
No,
Which
I
one do you
have
wanna
to.
do?
I have to be able to see what you're doing.
Okay, here we go.
That's part of the thing.
All right, we got 3 stories, and 2 of them are truth, and 1's a lie. Mr. Miller, you got to get ready too. So hopefully you're on voice, because I'm going to read them, and then I'm going to ask you to pick. So here's selection number 1. Amazon driver's monitoring app called Tracker is an invasive nightmare. Story number 2. CEOs of Robinhood and Reddit to testify in federal GameStop hearing. Or number 3, Hubble research finds a gaggle of small black holes in our galaxy. All right, so we got Amazon driving app, CEOs of Robinhood, and Hubble finds a gaggle of small black holes in our galaxy. All right, Mr. Mike Gourday, you're up first. Which one of these?
Why you want me to go first?
Because I don't want you searching real quick. So
I'm not going to cheat.
Okay, you're not going to cheat. Okay, we'll go to Miller then. Nathan Miller, which one of these do you think is the lie?
I'm going to have to go with the second one.
The CEOs of Robinhood and Reddit to testify in federal GameStop. Okay, so if you get it right, you get a point. If Mike gets it right, he gets a point. And if I can fool both of you, I get a point. And right now, Mike's ahead 1-0 since we've been on KKNW because we didn't count the previous one. So, Mike, which one of these stories is the lie?
When you say gaggle, what does that mean?
A bunch. A gaggle is a bunch of small black holes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's the lie.
Oh, this is the day. Oh, my word. Amazon drivers monitoring app Tracker is an invasive nightmare. It is not called Tracker, but it's called Mentor. All right. Amazon.
Okay. Look at that.
That's right. Amazon drivers are being monitored with an invasive nightmare. Amazon app that monitors its drivers while delivery vehicles are in tow is called Mentor, but it does not seem to help workers be more productive. The CEO of Robinhood and Reddit to testify in federal GameStop hearing is correct. On February 18th, they're going to be holding a virtual hearing to talk to those. And the Hubble research finds a gaggle of small black holes in our solar system is correct. The Hubble Space Telescope has discovered a concentration of black holes over 78,000 light years away. So Nathan gets a win.
How about that?
This is a great day. This is by far, every episode should be done like this because I got myself a win. We're not going to let David play. Nathan Miller will always be a part of this, and now I got my first win.
Okay,
Mike's got a win, and
take a
KKNW is, I am taking a drink. I'm very excited about it. And at this time, we are going to go to a commercial break. I'm going to celebrate my wins, and when we come on back, we're going to have Mike in his mesmerizing moment and our pick of the day.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Mike, if I could only imagine having a plan in place to get those memories into photo books year after year. That just takes forever.
Actually, I don't have that problem because I use a service called Memory My Way. Members learn exactly how to get organized and in control, back up the right way, and the very best part is, everyone is paired with a professional designer who custom creates each book, saving members tons of time. That's www.memorymyway.com. And you can just go out there and become a point-and-shoot expert today.
Tech Time listeners, a special for you. If you sign up, we will give you $5 off your first month. That's right, $5 off your first month by putting in the code TechTime at checkout. Visit them today, www.memorymyway.com. And tell them Nathan and Mike sent you.
Hello, Seattle. How would you like to have immediate and easy access to your live EKG and heart rate data? Your data right at your fingertips and with no need to hook up wires and leads or be strapped to a machine at the doctor's office. The new Pulse device from Vivomi continuously tracks your EKG and displays this data on your mobile phone. Have you ever wondered how your EKG and heart rate behaves when you're exercising at the gym, navigating the stressful demands of the workday, or just getting the kids ready for school or relaxing at home? The Pulse is a different kind of wearable, and you can experience this difference by going to www.vivomi.com and ordering your device today.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Look at that, Mike. There's a little bit more alcohol in there.
Yeah, I see that. Enjoy.
Uh-huh. Oh, I liking that Knob Creek. It's a short distance to walk into my house from Studio 6, so I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
But you know what, Mike? This is the time that everybody tunes in to be inspired, uplifted, and to be engaged with my favorite segment. We call this Mike's Mesmerizing Moment. This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
So we were talking to Kurt before the show, and he was telling us how many people ask him what?
If they can get a house built for free.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. So why would you get a house built for free?
You know, it's funny because I get that a lot too. I get people wanting me to do consulting work for free. You know?
I get that too. What is with that?
Well, I think, you know, a part of it is that who doesn't want stuff for free?
Okay.
You know, and if I can get something for free from Safeway, I'm having a nice day, right? You know, if Safeway makes a mistake and they end up giving me an article for free, that makes me feel good. So there's a reward for getting things free. But I'm going to say that this sort of idea that we can ask somebody who's selling things for $250,000 for free, that's a little bit entitled. And I think a portion of that entitlement comes from the media and advertising always doing things like giving away stuff for free. So, you know, we have been trained, the media and our environment and social constructs around us are teaching us how to behave. And one of the things that we're getting taught is that it's okay to ask for free stuff.
Really?
And yeah, and the funny thing about that is if you came to me for 3 months of consulting work, and I said, hey, and you asked for it for free, you know what the chances that you're not really going to do anything that I tell you to or work on? Always high. When people do stuff for free, people never engage. Right. Yeah. It's one of the most interesting thing is that we want stuff for free, but when we get stuff for free, there's no value to us, so we don't engage with that. So yeah, I would bet you money that if he gave out a house for free, that it would be pretty badly beaten up within the first year. Because that person has no invested value in that house. And it's the same thing with coaching or consulting or whatever. You know, if I do stuff for free, and this isn't in all cases. Some people really do respond well to this stuff, but for the most part, if they don't pay for it, they don't find value in it, so they don't put a lot of importance on moving that forward. So I think that's one of the interesting things about this is that our society has been taught that this is an okay thing and free stuff is okay, but the human behavior piece kind of steps in and makes it unvaluable. Well, that is our Mike's mesmerizing moment, and it's the moment that makes you go, Right now, we're going to take our final commercial break, and when we're back, we're going to return with our pick of the day, along with some great information, so don't go too far.
Hey, we get pick of the day music.
Yeah, so we'll be right back.
Skip and Sharon, hosts of the Psychic Spectrum radio show, are a prominent psychic couple. Besides hosting an exciting weekly radio show, they offer fans the Psychic Showcase and a fascinating speakers bureau. And their Talking to the Other Side events are not to be missed. Join their live events and even schedule a private psychic reading. Get started at psychicspectrum.com. That's psychicspectrum.com.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, look at that. We got Nathan Miller taking care of us, and he got us back. So we have Knob Creek, our 9-year bourbon whiskey, $40, 100 proof. Mike, what do you think of it? Is it your pick of the day? Do you give it a thumbs up?
I like the regular Knob Creek 9 better, but I'm still going to give this one a thumbs up. This one's good.
This is very good. And you know the best part about this show is doing it, and I only have to walk 100 feet into my house, so I will be able to have a little bit more whiskey on the side.
Are you sure you can walk?
I hope so. If not, I'll have to call my wife.
I just have to walk to my chair. That's all I have to do. I have to push stuff out of the way.
We want to give a thank you out to Nathan Miller. Thank you very much for hosting us back at KKNW 1150. Hopefully we will be back next week with Snowmageddon no longer being here.
Yeah.
Always visit us at 1150 KKNW or at techtimeradio.com, and you can get all the latest information that you have regarding our items for giveaways and different items that we have with our sponsorship. I haven't been able to read that. I got my wording is.
Sure, you're okay to walk into your house?
Yeah, I got to update it. We've never used this for a long time.
I know.
But I am Nathan Mumm, and thank you for listening. We got Mike Roday. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.